guys, it's Bear with the Camping Camper. I want to do a real quick video on a backup camera install. I did go wireless, and so a lot of people are curious about that. My camper was pre-wired for a Furrion system. I went with Haloview, a Haloview MC7108, I believe is the model number, and I've been happy with it. There's a couple of things that I still have to figure out. Really, the thing that was the hardest about the whole thing was deciding where to mount the monitor, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Mounting the camera with the bracket and the wire that came with a conversion kit from Haloview was pretty easy after you figured out what was going on with it. And so I'm going to show the time here where I go over that. If that's all you're here for, we'll help you out and we'll get you straight there. Obviously, the first thing we want to do is get everything out of the box. And when I unbox the kit for the Furrion, there was a bracket there. It's obvious that it goes on the camera bracket. The next thing we have to do is get the Furrion box here ready. So obviously there's a cover you got to take off, and then the wire hangs out. But then it became unclear of how it was supposed to mate up together. Apparently they do have more than one style of bracket, but with these brackets, they don't just go on the outside. You have to take this whole back cover off. To get the cover off, you need a 1/4 inch bit, or just a driver without a bit in there works fine. But it's hard to get into that narrow area. You pull that thing right off, and then you can tell that your bracket mounts up on there because the holes magically line up now. At first I was worried about water, but the drip edge, the sealant still there, is complete with that flat bracket against the camper, so I think it'll be okay. Obviously, it is important to use some kind of sealer for the screws, though. I was also surprised that the screws didn't really have too good of a bite, so I wanted a sealer that would hold the screw in with a little bit more power as well. Then as far as the camera in, all you got to do is plug the power in and put the screws into the bracket to hold it up there, and that's fine until you get to where you have to adjust your viewing angle with the monitor. Of course, don't forget to zip tie the wire up out of the way, because the wire is going to be on the outside with the pre-wired version. The easiest way to mount it's going to be using one of their brackets to just 3M it down to the dash, but I didn't really want to do that, so I thought maybe it would be okay kind of up on the ceiling behind the rear view mirror, but that didn't work out so well. Couldn't see it too good, and it wasn't in a good spot where I could see it. Then I just went with a 12-volt plug and ran it behind the dash. It works out good for me, and adjusted my viewing angle here. Everything else was pretty self-explanatory. Really, the hardest process was figuring out where I was going to mount the monitor and how that bracket attached to the camper. Well guys, that's pretty much it on this video. You can get a little fancier with it and wire in trigger wires and all that stuff, but it works pretty good. Now the only issue is sometimes when you're going a little faster, that high definition camera doesn't quite keep up, so you may want an external antenna. I had actually got one, but I've not put it on yet, and it's not really bothering me. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a spoiler alert here. On one of my last trips, I messed up a stabilizer jack, so we're going to have a video on fixing that. But because of that, I got really paranoid about where my tires are on the ground, in ditches and that kind of thing. And so, trying to avoid those and see the best I can, I did go ahead and upgrade to the side cameras. And those things are awesome! But we'll go over that in an upcoming video. And just stay tuned and check that one out. In this video's featured YouTube channel is Barefoot Adventures. Don't be shy to go follow Fred. He does a lot of camping around Florida, a lot around the Fort Wilderness area, and Disney, all that fun stuff. And so just check them out. They also do a lot of live streams to help people like me meet new people and interact with people and help those interaction scores get up. And so because of that and his help for that, I wanted to recommend them for this week's featured YouTube channel.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.